Okay, and welcome to the stream. Uh, we are just getting started here, and game's loading up. I'm so for those who don't really follow me that closely, I had um, I had a previous set of videos on the same server that I'm playing on today here in Medieval Engineers. Um, we had a really good time with that series, but unfortunately. Unfortunately, that stream ended when I neglected to pay my taxes on a land claim in that particular matter. And, it was really good. We had a good big castle built. And, yeah, so anyway, now this same server that I did that one on a year and a half ago or whatever it was, um, there have been some updates to the game that I'm really interested in. And, the server is doing the water mod this time. I did have a solo game. I'm trying to restore that, but I'm having some trouble because that one, basically, the issue is the mods are sort of halfway updated, but not fully updated. Like half the mods would work and half the ones wouldn't. And I don't want to corrupt the world, so I kind of have to either wait for the mods to update or I have to, um, you know, abandon them and hopefully those objects don't get corrupted. But I will show you this particular iteration of the server. I think we're gonna have a good time. This is a new let me okay, we're getting some real big lag there, but there we go. Okay. In fact, a lot of lag overall. Hopefully that's temporary. Okay, so this server, let me just tell you what I've done so far. And I know it's a little dark, so I apologize for that. We'll get to a lighted area here in a minute. In fact, I wonder, well, I was trying to determine if I was trying to figure out if I could see what time of day it was. But I tell you what, maybe I have a torch. Do I have a torch? No, I do not. Can I make a torch? How do you make, oh, here we go. I'll just make a torch real quick so y'all can see. Okay, and I'll explain some of this stuff as we go, but, okay, there we go. That's a little bit better, right? Yeah, I guess, the hope is that most of this episode takes place during daylight hours, and we'll probably just do one in-game day, unless I'm getting on our big roll. But, so, this, particular start, and let me just, sorry, pop over to my, other monitor. Okay, just making sure that I've got the chat up. Okay. So this particular start, again, as I mentioned, it's the water mod. Oh, geez. We got a barbarian coming up. You guys can see okay, right? Like, I'm just trying to gauge the brightness here when I take the torch off. Because I have to take the torch off to get my shield out, and I really don't want to have this battle without my shield. The barbarian has a torch right now. Gosh, I don't know if you guys can see that really. Hold on. I mean a little bit, but not super well. Well, let me just finish the battle with the barbarian real quick, and then I will get my torch back out. But trust me when and boy, this lag has really got me concerned. Ow. Ow. Okay, well, that did not go well, but I did win the battle, barely, as you can see by my health. Those battles, and I got a torch, of course, now that I don't need it anymore. These battles are tricky when there's a lot of lag, and they're tricky in general because there was a new fighting system introduced. I apologize for the big red outline now. There was a new fighting system introduced 2 updates ago. I think it was the 7.0 update or whatever it was. And so now that we're there was a 7.1 update, which is a huge update. Anytime you get a I mean the farther to the left of the decimal, the number is that you're getting updated, the more important it is. So 7 or 6 point whatever. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but the 2 updates ago was humongous, and this particular update was quite large as well. So I think, 7.0, or and this is 7.1, something like that. The previous update overhauled combat and changed a few things as far as the gameplay mechanics and the character mechanics. And then this update that we're working with now overhauled the crafting system and overhauled all the block graphic, the visuals on the blocks, which is a pretty significant update, actually. It also, what did it do? It, I think it made building a little bit more functional. They added some mechanics to that where you can, previously they had this mechanic where you could like have a free placement mode, and they took that away for a while, and then they just restored that. So I'm really pleased about that. When I say free placement mode, what I mean is they made it so you don't have to snap a block to a pre-existing grid if one exists. You can, I think it's the shift button, you can just hold that down and place it pretty much wherever you want. Okay. Before I show you what I've been working on, I'm just going to grab a little bit of iron here because we're going to need some, frankly. And this iron here it's good source because it's very, well, it's in the rocks, which means I get more per swing as opposed to a shovel, soil located iron. Problem is this deposit is tiny as far as I can tell, but it's really close to base, and that's why we're going for it. I came across this in a little divot in the mountain. I don't think I found it myself. I think I found the evidence that somebody else had just dug a very superficial access to this ore, but nonetheless I'm gonna definitely exploit it, especially now while I can. There is copper and tin pretty close by, kind of where I spawned in here, and then there is there's more iron a little farther inland, and then there's a source of gold that I found that's super secret, and I'm not telling anybody. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'll tell you about it. It's up in the mountains, but I'll have to show you that for you to have any sense of what I'm talking about. And the truth is that with the trading post mod, gold is ironically almost worthless. So we're not going to do a whole lot with it other than just have a little bit to have on hand or whatever. Just to kind of maybe fill up some ore bins with it to make it look like we're rich, even though, like I said, it's not actually worth that much in the actual game. They changed a little bit with voxel graphic mechanics as well. I think they made it so that it's harder to detect the parameters of the voxels, so it looks more natural. They did some stuff with crafting, like you saw earlier when I crafted the torch. It didn't just pop up in my inventory. I had to click the button to take it, and they've overhauled that on crafting tables and in your personal inventory, which is a pretty cool thing. I think it actually works pretty well. So I'm not displeased with that. Some people I've heard and seen videos that don't care for it, but I'm fine with it. This is a peculiar ore deposit, frankly. Oh, there we go. Alright, so we're getting some of that. We're gonna have to dump something here. Yeah, I'll just dump those rocks. And, I'll just kind of try to get one more stack here of iron. Yeah, I was gonna say we'll probably get some more of those big rocks falling down here. I'm gonna get most of what I can here, but I'm sure I'm gonna have to leave some behind because otherwise I'm gonna have to keep dumping from my inventory. Although, we can get a pretty good amount. And we're definitely gonna have to dig our way out of here too. It's interesting it'll be interesting to see how deep this goes, but let's see, we should be getting pretty close now. Yeah, oh no, 14, not so close. Well, you know, this episode isn't about mining. I just thought I'd take the opportunity while I was here to grab some of this iron, so I did. With the caveat that we will probably have to come back, and yeah, those rocks are going to be annoying. They have like a hyper long despawn time for like rocks and stuff now in this server, so. Oh, shite. Look at that, there's water. Which is just, all that signifies is that we've dug down to the water level, which is something that I haven't really done much before, frankly. But it's kind of interesting to see that happen when you're digging, because that's, you know, it's kind of scary. It's like digging into a pool of lava in Minecraft or something, you know? Gosh, and now I'm like stuck in the rock. This is very, okay, now we're finally making some progress. But anyway, this is just kind of a preamble to what we're actually going to be doing in this episode. And I'm going to show you my little base that I've built so far. Now, I could have brought you in, you know, several hours of gameplay ago, so you can see me go through all the tutorials and research and stuff. But that's what I've done the last 2 or 3 times, you know, the other times that I've done this game. This time I figured let's just go straight in, and I'll do all the boring, well, it's not boring, but it's, you know, it's routine. I'll do all the routine stuff offline. Getting a weird musical cue there. I'm curious if there's like a barbarian trying to get at me or something. Or maybe it's just the sound. I think they added some ambient sounds. Maybe it thinks I'm in a cave. Alright, let me get the shovel. Oh. Well, this is going to cause problems. I'll stick with the pickaxe. I'm not sure why it let me have the torch with the pickaxe, but not the shovel. But I am definitely stuck down here right now, and it's kind of, I don't want to say unnerving, but it's, I feel very trapped. Anyway, so I did all of the mundane, routine research stuff offline for the purpose of getting through it, so that when we started this playthrough, we would be able to just jump right in. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And on today's episode, we're going to start some of our more ambitious construction projects. Okay, there we go. So now we do have a hole, and we can also harvest stone from this. And if those stones stick around, we can just grab those. But, giant hole on the cliff. Okay. Our place is located right here. And we have named our house House of Condorcet. Here's a little symbol. We'll deal with some more of that in a minute. The water mod is something that takes some getting used to if you're not used to it already. And the issue that you want to be really careful about is the tendency to die when you go swimming. It's a little bit clunky in my opinion, or a little bit not so user-friendly right now. And basically what it boils down to, there's kind of like 2 main reasons you would die in the water. One, as far as I can tell, is running out of stamina causes you to drown. The other is, and it may be just me perceiving this incorrectly, but I think it can improperly slam you up against a rock or something, or cause the game to think you've made a very violent impact with the edge. Maybe that's also related to stamina, but in any event, it's something that should be avoided, or I'm just kind of super nervous about. So here we go, swimming in this water, which doesn't look good when you're in it, but it looks okay when you're outside of it. It's a mod after all, so, you know, you take what you can get. But here's our little landing, and we just entered our territory there, so the only thing I'm holding right now, I believe, is the torch, which is exactly what you want, because if you die, you drop your whatever you're holding. So I just pushed 0 just to make sure. And can I get up there? Come on, game. Grrr. Okay. Let's see. Do I have another ship's ladder in my... No, I don't. Can I build stairs? And the longer I sit here, the more likely I am to inadvertently die. So let me just see if I can get this going. I'll just put that, can I, plank and timber. Okay, let me see if I can get a timber real quick. No, I don't think I can. I don't have enough ingredients. Okay, backup plan. Before we run out of stamina, which is the thing that will cause me to die, I have a backup landing. I need to fix that. The problem that happened just now is that the tide came in, or out, or whatever it would be, causing that ladder to be too far out of the water for me to get a good angle on it. But that music this time is a lot louder than it was a second ago. Hopefully it's not too loud. I think based on the visuals, I did some audio testing and my visuals look like they're still on track for my audio to be balanced properly, but you know, I'll notice and we'll fix it if there's a video in the future that I need to change the sound levels. I am tempted to turn the sound down just a hair, but I definitely want to get out of this water first because I have less than a third of my stamina bar and that's dangerous to me. So here's my backup. Unbuilt staircase landing right here. And this one goes right down into the water, so I'm always able to get out of that. And by the way, it's not even on my claimed land. So yeah, this music is like getting louder and louder. It's kind of funny. There we go. Okay. I love the music. I don't mind it, like, especially on single player. I always have it on, but, you know, for this, let's just make sure it's not too loud. So anyway, as I was saying, now that we're out of the water, I feel a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and take our stuff back and unload everything and show you what we've been up to. And then we'll get started on our build project for today. My Medieval Engineer series, gets a lot, well, in the past anyway, it's gotten a lot of support, so I'm very looking forward to all the feedback. And ooh, shoot, is that a deer? Pretty sure I just saw a deer. But you know what, my inventory's full, and let's just go pop some things in storage real quick. This is my little starter shack survival house. I'll give you the full tour in just a minute, but let's just get all these ores in storage here. Most of the ores I got there are ones that I picked up along the way. I was trying to find treasure, but it was all shooting me into the water. It's a huge problem, so obviously I couldn't pursue that. Let's just do this and get these out of there, and then mushrooms, I guess. I gotta get a better food storage going here. It's all gonna be full, isn't it? Yeah, well that's okay. We're pretty much good to go now. There we go, and yeah, that's fine. Okay. Got this other storage chest I could probably put some stuff in. Yeah. And then I'll just grab one stack of those to supplement our sweetbread. The sweetbread's a lot better. It gives you a vigor boost in addition to the healing properties. Okay. And I promise I will go over the details here, but there was a noise, you know, there was that noise cue over, why is this rock appearing in my field? See that? You hear that? That noise, that music cue change? So let's just go over here and investigate if there's an obvious, maybe there's a barbarian stuck on the cliff somewhere or attacking my settlement. I don't hear any, other than my own footsteps, which are a little bit daunting or ominous sometimes. I don't see any evidence of a barbarian. Here's my dock that I was trying to get up onto, with the dock master there, who's basically a non-moving NPC character, one of 3 people who live in this town, besides my, you know, including myself actually. Okay, so this is all good here. Let's just check over here. These bushes grow back so quickly. In fact, they're kind of part of my income model, which I'll explain in just a minute. But I'm just kind of checking the perimeter for any signs of trouble. Not really focusing on harvesting down all these bushes, but kind of get in my way, so why not? Alright, I don't see anything. So the only source of concern was over here, and it might have been that deer. Maybe you get that sound when an NPC deer shows up nearby. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that sound again, and I saw the deer right over here, so let's just check behind these weeds. I mean, it would be kind of crazy if it was like a barbarian who was like sneaking around over here. But we're at full health and we have okay stamina. Should probably save up my stamina just in case. Come on, game. All right. These bushes are kind of tough to deal with too. So they are so intrusive into your sightline. Okay. I also want to really get into blueprints a little bit this time. They're kind of frustrating because you can get stuck on them basically, and if you get stuck on a blueprint, it's kind of hard to undo the blueprint basically. Okay, so must have scared the deer or whatever it is over here. I'm gonna stop getting these bushes. Oh, got rubber banded there. Little server lag mechanic there. Okay, so I'm just looking for this stupid deer. You probably can't even see what the hell I'm doing, to be honest. So this is probably just pointless. But I think if I scared him off, it's unlikely that we'll have any problem with that NPC. So let me just kind of get back on point here. Well, he must. Oh, there he is. Okay, sorry. I love getting the deers with my sword because I lost my crossbow long ago and I never made a new one, and I'm too lazy. So anyway, deer, you know, they're also, I guess, part of my income model, although it's not really a major part. It's just a part. Okay, so and hopefully the sun will come out soon, because then once the sun comes out, we'll go picking berries, and I'll show you exactly how I make all my money. But just getting some more of these bushes while we're over here. Oh, some big lag spikes. You know, and the plan for this playthrough is to explore some of the new features. The blueprint thing, oh, I should have mentioned, that is a huge addition that they did this time. They've always had, well, for a very long time they've had blueprints in this game, but what they did was they finally made it so you can use them in survival rather than having to switch over to creative, which means that you can use them on a multiplayer server. And so without it being special access or cheating. So basically what that means for me is that if there are designs I want to build, I mean, I still have to accumulate all the resources and spend the time and energy banging it with my hammer. The one thing that I don't have to do, though, is design them. And the proof of concept of this is this building right here. Now, it's not very fancy. It's basically a 3-story tall square tower. You know, it's 2 by 2 by 3 big boy blocks, basically 1, 2, 3, you know. Stone cubes is what I mean with that phrase. It's a phrase I think Radio Man, whatever his screen name, invented. He's a medieval engineer caster. And anyway, there's, you know, 2 by 2 by 3, so, you know, 12, volume of 12 large stone cubes with battlements at the top, a staircase going up the middle, and then what I've done is I built it primarily for the purpose of storing this claim block. And as you can see here, and this is going to be similar for the other claim block, both of my claim blocks are about 6 days. These max out at 7 days, so that's not bad. But, you know, like we had the problem with the previous version of the server, and that's mostly due to my apathy. But nonetheless, it was still very unpleasant to, you know, log in. I don't know if it was like 8 days. I think they had it doubled, so I think you can go up to 14 in the previous server. But you know, I like took half a month off, and I log on the couple days after I didn't pay my claim, and all my hard work was gone. It was just straight up vanished. It wasn't deteriorating. It wasn't like I didn't get a warning. It just was gone. And I know that might have been the settings were a little different on that server. I think they had a faster decay of unclaimed blocks on land. But nonetheless, it was sad. But at the same time, it was certainly my fault because I didn't put in the effort to get back to the server in time. And that's on me. But we had, you know, I had 2 really, really fun castles on that server, and I think I've got footage of both of them. So if you're interested in that, check them out. They were sandstone castles in the desert. This one, what I'm building now, is definitely, well, first of all, as you may have noticed, I didn't bother to mention this because it's kind of obvious, but I'm on an island. I'll show you my island here. Kind of cute. You can kind of see it there. This person's on this humongous island, but they only have a tiny little area. I've got my area seems bigger in relation to my island. I would like to have the whole island, but that might not be manageable from a taxation standpoint. And I feel like if I did want to do that, I'd have to leave the forest, at least to some degree, intact for resources, which would mean I'd basically have to be paying claim blocks for all this wild land. And if you look at it, I would literally have to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 claims if I wanted to get the whole thing absolutely claimed. I could kind of cut corners and just do the major ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 to get all the major ones. Then I'd have these little side areas, maybe 7, but then I'd have 3 or 4 little side areas that weren't claimed. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do as far as claims, but for now, what I think I'm going to stick to is trying to get maybe just this side of the island mostly. Maybe these 4, and then leave the rest to nature. Because I don't really need it to be that big, and frankly, if you look at any historical castle anywhere, whether it's on an island or not, most of the time the people who built the castle built as small as they could. And I know that sounds weird because you would think of, oh, castles, they always wanted to build them bigger and better and stronger, and the truth is that I think you'll find most castles were modest, and they were made to be modest because a castle that's too big is extremely expensive, and it can be, if oh shoot, I lost well, not that I need that, but they can be quite difficult to defend if they're overextended. So a small castle might require 50 guys with crossbows. A big castle might require 700 guys. And how long are you going to want to hold that siege with the 700 guys? There's pros and cons, obviously, but the point is that it's not a universal thing that you'd want the biggest castle in the world. So this is kind of how I've been making a lot of my money. I've got plenty of deer skins, so I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice those, and the deer meat as well, and the large stones, because I'm doing okay on stone. Whatever. And then meat. I'm going to save this because I'll turn it into metal parts. I'm going to save that skull for now for some reason. Get rid of all these stupid roots. And then could do the small stones. Sure. And then the main one here is these sticks, and these don't sell for much, but you can hold a shit ton of them, and they stack up to 50, and they're all over the island for free without having to plant anything or do manual labor to harvest. So just look at that. Just after killing 1 deer and harvesting a bunch of plants and berries and roots, I got 222, which translates to this right here. 2 and it's like 272 or 77, I mean. And what you'll find is that each noble gets you a day, 1 day and 6 hours worth of time, or something like that. I think. Let me hold on. So if you go down here, and by the way, this is all the trading post mod, so if you're not familiar with that mod, it basically adds a currency system to the game. Okay, so this would give me 11 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That almost maxes me out. This one would give me 1 day and 22 hours, man. Yeah, so it's basically 45 hours or so. So I'm not going to spend that. I'm going to save that. In fact, I'm going to put all my money away. I've just been putting it in this barrel. It's kind of reckless, but whatever. So I'm slowly building up my reserves. That's how long you can gauge how long I've been playing based on that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and melt, and I'll go ahead to fill the other. Ooh, I forgot I had all that. Okay, let's melt this guy, and then these torches just bug me. I don't need them. I guess I'll put them in here. Alright. And then, human skulls I've got maxed out there. I guess I'll put the skull in there. And then, we'll grab these. And let's just, well, I'll save that for now. I've been putting, due to the fact that I've poorly planned out my, my storage facilities so far, I've just been putting things everywhere. So I'm going to have to up my storage game here as we go forward. I'll show you this building right here before the sun's going to rise here in a few minutes. And then we'll start building when the sun rises. But I'll show you this building real quick. This is my little watchtower, I guess, or minor, you know, small keep. And go ahead and pay that. That'll get us up to, I think the other one ended up being 620, so they're pretty darn close. So this will get me, yeah, this will be perfect. So they're about even now, these two claim blocks. So coming up here, you know, there's a partial roof. I put a couple torches up here so you can kind of use it as a lighthouse a little bit. Not really, these battlements are kind of hard to see, but you can tell they've redone this texture significantly by just looking at it here. Used to be very choppy without these little top things, you know, and now it's got the horizontal stone capping it off. So yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. I'm getting used to these new textures. I don't remember all the graphics techniques they implemented, but apparently they're pretty good. So okay, well the sun's about to rise. Here's all my storage, by the way. So I've got that building, got my starter house, and I've got this mill which is not covered. One thing I do want to do is expand the mill and cover it up with planks and whatnot. And I think I will go with planks because I think I do want a mill that looks like a what's the game that Stronghold. I'd like a Stronghold, you know, art style mill. I have also made a rotisserie farm. I haven't done a lot with rotisserie farms in the past, mostly because, oh Jesus, that lag is terrible. I hope it's not an indication of a server crash. I will play this either until we get through an entire day or the server crashes, whichever comes first. If the server crashes, I'll probably, you know, get really salty and complain about it. Okay, so we do have the seeds in there, but I'm going to take them out for now. And we'll just activate the plow. This thing is a little janky. That's one of the reasons I haven't used these a lot. My ground is not exactly even either, and I could probably work on that. But and this can be extended. I could add, you know, 2 or 3 levels to it. In fact, I had to clear out some things to make this, because originally I was going with a much larger design, but then I had trouble not breaking it. Okay, so I've activated the plow, and I don't remember which direction I have to go with it. Is it that direction? Or is it the other direction? Yeah, see, it gets all like clangy, and I think that causes stress on this joint, and when that joint breaks I have to build the whole thing over again. Did that plow? It looks like it did, so let's just go around in a circle here. I wonder if extending it out a little bit would be useful. I don't know. I think actually the more useful thing for me to do here would be to even up this ground a little bit. But okay, so that's the plowing. I think that's good, right? I mean, I don't know. Hopefully I went the right direction. Again, I know it's hard for you guys to see, but just trust me when I say we're working on something that helps keep my operation going here. And once we get good, oh Jesus, with this, we'll be able to, there we go. You know, we'll be able to use this a little bit more to get cash crops, and that'll be good for our money supply, which is all important in this game. Money supply, and I would say your true wealth is in your castle, but the money supply is important too. Okay, so that's just a couple of seconds of effort there, and I've already got, you know, a bunch of things planted, so we'll just leave that be. We used 2 seeds on that, and we got 18 out of it. That's just it's more of a prototype than it is a fun, you know, because I could go out there and manually plant and probably be more productive. But I'll go ahead and put the 18 in here. That's 2, you know, that's 4 loaves of bread. Not sure if that's good, but you know, I can actually go out in the field, probably find more in a given sitting. Okay, let's go up here and watch the sunrise, because it's going to be happen in a few minutes. This mill is just the one you kind of end up building through the tutorial quest line. We do have this little small island, and I'm kind of interested in possibly annexing that. That would be kind of fun to just have a little land claim over there and just kind of every so often just go over and throw a coin in it, kind of keep it alive, maybe build like a statue on it or something, maybe like a gravesite or something. But let me tell you what I'm planning briefly before we get into the actual building. Maybe I'll separate the episode. Maybe I'll say this one's the introduction and then the next one's the actual building. That might be good for viewing purposes. But okay, so let me kind of, while we're waiting for the sun to come up, let me give you an idea of what I'm thinking for my mill. Hold on one second. I always love video game ideas that I like borrow a video game idea and then I integrate it into another video game. Okay, here's just a random picture of it. This is the mill from, I think it's the original Stronghold, although they had this other one in Stronghold 2 that's very similar. But either way, as you can see, it's basically very minimal. There's like a shaft, and there's most of the mechanisms in an encased kind of birdhouse-looking structure at the top. The other one was this one here, which has the more framed structure there, but similarly, designed there. Is this? I honestly can't tell which is Stronghold 1 and Stronghold 2, and I don't remember. This one looks to be Stronghold 2 just based on graphics, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Either way, they look somewhat similar. They're both encased in wood. There's no stone to be found at all. And let's just let me just try one more here. Let's grab this image. Oh wow, I'm looking at a Stronghold 3. Seven 2011. That can't be right. Okay, I guess they were developing Stronghold 3, but they never released it. Or maybe I'm misremembering history, but I think they're working on the next iteration of this game. But let me just try to find a picture of this mill in action that I'm talking about here. Well, this is definitely going to be from the first game here. Can I not zoom in? Well, whatever. I guess I can't zoom in on that one. Well, you get the idea. I guess is what I'm saying. So, let's proceed. We have tons of wood chopped down and ready to go. We have a decent amount of stone. The main thing that I'd like to do is basically build up walls around the edge of this cliff face and make a castle that surrounds the walls here, that has a courtyard, and that has, some buildings in there, and that opens up to the wilderness on the other side of the island. And I think in order to do that, the best way to really get a nice castle like that is basically to well, basically we're gonna start building the walls first. So just grab a few stones and sticks and whatnot. So I want to do that, and I think what I'll do for this first building episode is I will basically maybe start building some of these walls out, and I would like to go ahead and work on that mill too. Now, in addition to that, there are several other things that I'd like to do in this series, and a lot of it's going to have to do with integrating blueprints, which are basically my way of streamlining and optimizing my creativity. And the reason I say that, it is kind of different to be having to think about resource limitations and pragmatic construction limitations when you're building a building freehand. What the blueprints do is they allow you to take that process out of freehand and basically plan it out, maybe even in a creative mode, or certainly in another context where you're not like actually at risk for losing those resources, and then integrating that efficiently in your creative or in your survival world, so that you know exactly how many resources you're going to need and how expensive a particular building is going to be and how long it's going to take to build, and then you can just plop it in where you want it, and it's I think that's fantastic. It's not the only way to build, and it won't be the only way I build. I'll build a lot of stuff freehand, but it's gonna add another element to this that I'm excited to work with a little bit more, because in creative mode, blueprints were just kind of, boom, there it is, you know. Whereas in survival, it's very much like, I think it kind of approximates realism the most, because what it does is it says, you know, you can plan out your structure like anybody would in real life. You can have your architect draw up the plans, and you can have an idea of how much it's going to cost, but you can't get it for free and magically plop it down without working on it. You still have to do the work, you still have to gather the resources, and you have to figure out where it's going to go, and then you have to build it. And by the way, building a blueprint, though somewhat intuitive, depending on the blueprint, is not 100% easy, you know, mindless task that you might think it is. It's actually a little bit challenging. And maybe that's what I'll do this episode to finish out, is place the blueprint down so I can show you what I'm talking about. Blueprints are made now by simply going to this, which is now the blueprint control block. It's different. They have this schematic research block where you do your schematics now. This one used to be the research block. Now it's that, which is a really cool thing, by the way. It looks really cool. This one is the old research block, and now it loads up all of the blueprints in it. All right. So, you know, let's pick one that's kind of practical, just so we can kind of plop it down. So I've got some of my buildings from my previous town that I had in my single player, and that's something I'll probably do a lot of, is bring over single player stuff. I've got some boats that are blueprinted that I could bring over, some rotating farm stuff that I could start working on. But what's this? Wish there's a better picture of this lighthouse, because placing a lighthouse does seem like a good idea. What's this? It's just a small little house I could build, just to show you. I do want something fairly modest. This is the official basic house that the game people made. Here's a mill. Where's this from? Is this from my other playthrough? I think it is. Oh, but that has all those alternative walls in it. This marketplace looks cool, but I don't think, yeah, this one I know doesn't let me build because it relies on blocks that are no longer in the game, or something like that. This one would be cool. That one looks really good. Problem is, I don't want to build like something that's super expensive and fancy, only to remove it later. Yeah, that one requires sandstone, so that's not going to happen. This is the tower I already built using the blueprint system. That's a good house. Maybe I should just build like a house like that. But I just want to show you something real quick. So, I mean, I could build the water well, probably. Can I build? No, I can't build that. I can't build this because it's too old. Again, probably relying on outdated mechanics or blocks. And I think that's what this little X thing means, is that I can't build it. What about this? That looks pretty cool. I like this style. That might be a good idea to put something like that in, but in any event, you can actually access the Steam workshop here. And, well, actually, no, I'm sorry. That's just blue. Oh, no, it's still loading. Yeah, you can, oh, wow, that's cool. I didn't realize it would load them in right in real time. So you can load things in real time. That's awesome. And it'll show the ones that are going to work for you. So you have little symbols down here. And these take a second to load, but It's pretty cool. And I'm not seeing a lot of them load for some reason. A lot of people playing with these trains. That's one of the other two major mods that's been added. You know, let me do newest first here. Alright, this should be better. Well, I don't know why some of these won't load, but, maybe I'll just click on this one. This one doesn't have a screenshot, and it won't let me place it. I'm not sure why that would be. I wonder if they're still downloading or something. All workshop blueprints, local only, official only, published only. These are mine, okay. Well, the point is that it appears you can build quite a few little things right from the from the Steam Workshop now, so pretty cool stuff. Look forward to kind of playing with that a little bit more and using some of the things from here. Looks like some of these are loading in finally, so I can maybe take a look at some of them. I'm looking for something really here, let's do this one. I like this. Can I place this? It won't let me place it. Why not? Is it downloading? I'm not sure why I can't place some of these. And it doesn't bring up a tooltip for me. Maybe I'll look for a different symbol. Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting me place some of these. Oh, I think I have to click subscribe. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just kind of figuring this out with you guys, but if I click subscribe, now I can place it. Okay, very good. So what you do, you click place, and then you come out. I assume it's downloading. Let's try this again. It probably had to download. So let me go to local. Local. These are the ones I uploaded. Subscribed only. Okay, there we go. And let's find the one that I just subscribed to. I should probably, oh, there it is. I should probably get rid of these. Like the ones that don't work anymore. Let me just unsubscribe. That one looks cool, but it's out of date. And okay, so anyway, let's place this one. Okay, there we go. So it downloaded, which probably was more or less instantaneous, but I had to click it again. Okay, so let's place this just somewhere out of the way that's like kind of funny. Because this is my little outhouse for now. Although I'm going to be doing a lot of work over here, so let's place it over by the woods. I have these little posts set up to where my border lines are, and unfortunately it's not showing the boundary very well. But yeah, the boundary is a line going from there to there basically. And then I added this section. All that section over here is part of it now. So I could probably get away with putting it right about there. But this is terra incognita. Okay. Oh, you can see the line there. Okay. So I could go off in the woods a little ways and put it here. But let's just placement is key because some of these are not designed so well to be like easily. Oh yeah, there's a staircase. Okay. So this one clearly wants you to place that support in the ground somewhere. So let's how about like right about there. Okay. So we put the blueprint, you know, we can always change this later. That's the nice thing about blueprints too, is you don't feel completely stuck when you put them down. Let me just get rid of these trees nearby. I'll use them for construction too. Gotta love the multiplayer tree lag. I tried to kill myself with a tree in a previous when I was playing on this server a couple days ago, because I got like I died and then I forgot to log back in my bed, so I had to kill myself so I could log in the bed, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get myself to die from a tree falling on me like they used to. I'm not sure if that's a intentional change or if that's kind of a strange experience I had that wasn't quite typical. Anyway, almost got these trees down. Little delay on the sound there. I'm not going to get rid of these stumps yet because I'm not ready to expand into the woods permanently yet. Boy, that thing is flying around like a crazy man. Alright. So I've got I got some logs and I've got the timbers there. Let me just grab a whole bunch of timber and planks because I know I'm going to need them. Okay. So let me grab the planks first and then I'll fill up on timber there. Okay. So I'll go over and grab my hammer. And what you do, this is like a ghosted blueprint thing, so it's not really there yet. And you just find a good place to start whacking away. And if you have enough resources, the first layer just pops into place. It looks like it's gonna leave that particular stump intact. Might have gotten rid of one of the other ones. Then you just build these frames that they pop into place. And then once you finish one, and I'm not sure what's going on here because you should be able to go to the next step. So this is where it gets a little bit buggy, and what's probably going on, just guessing here, but I'm guessing maybe there was another block that got buried underground or something. Because what should happen is that should pop up to the next level. Maybe if I get rid of these stumps after all, it'll... Because sometimes I feel like if it detects that there's a problem, like maybe a collision with these stumps, maybe it won't proceed. There's a way around this too, but I'm just trying to do the pragmatic thing first. Alright, well, not really sure what the problem is from a... just randomly swinging at things here with my hammer. This is the frustrating part, right? Is if you get stuck like this, you have to kind of move on. But here's what you can do: this took me a long time to figure out. There's not a lot of good documentation on the internet about this, but yeah, it says I'm only 2/3 of the way complete with this layer, so I'm gonna click skip layer for so there was another block that didn't get built there, but I don't know what it is and I can't find it, so I'll skip that layer, and then you go back and in theory it'll, yeah, here we go. So you just build this layer now, and okay, so what do I need? I need a log and sticks. Do I have a log? Yeah, I have log. I should have, yeah, I've got plenty of sticks. What it does sometimes is it makes you get all the components for other blocks in this layer because it doesn't realize that I think it just doesn't know which block to start with. Man. And so this is again a bit of an issue because it needs a diagonal timber. Okay, that's fine. So again, if I hadn't explored around and found out that I needed that diagonal timber, it would have been very frustrating. But let's just go ahead and make a diagonal timber real quick. Something that I usually don't have on me because I don't use them very often. Alright, so again, very frustrating if you can't find the block with the components that you need. I think what it should do is it should give you more feedback and tell you that. Okay, so I got that one solved, but what else do I know what I did. Nope, I took it, never mind. Alright, plank, log, sticks. Plank, log, sticks. Floor. Do I need, it looks like round timber down there. Okay. Well, again, very frustrating. because it's not at all clear that that's what's missing, but it becomes clear. And so, you know, I guess the point is blueprint makers really need to do a good job delineating layer by layer what obviously is needed. There we go. So that round timber was it, because those two round timbers were sitting down there and I couldn't see them with when I targeted it with my thing, because there's a floor that's going to go right here. Cover that up or whatever, but those round timbers are in there now. And alright, let's get these walls up. Okay, so that's there. Okay, so now, oh geez, now it wants a whole bunch of round timber. Okay, so we're gonna have to, you know what, let's just, I was kind of avoiding doing this because I do this too much anyway, just in general, but let's go ahead and make ourselves yet another crafting table. And we'll place this down right next to our building, and that way we can easily make our components. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll just make, let's do 5 of those. Now, if that's close enough, theoretically it'll automatically take them. I think. Maybe. Not sure. It's never been quite clear to me. It looks like it hadn't or did not automatically move these over. Or maybe it's out of the chunk, I don't know. It is really hard to tell what the hell I'm building here. Looks like most of those are in place now. Okay, good. Now we need rolls of thatch. So, rolls of thatch got a lot easier to make since the previous version, but you just need wheat or sticks will do the trick. So let's do 3, 4 of those. Actually, I think I overdid it with those. And timber and sticks. Okay, what's the, I guess I have to remember to take those out of my, oh come on, game. Okay, let's see what the problem is. We got a bunch of rolls of thatch. Timber and sticks, right? I have timber and sticks, right? Sticks, timber, rolls of thatch. I do not understand. Oh, here we go. I need a sign. See, very frustrating, but large sign. What do I need for that? I guess I may have to make that, don't I? Okay, so I think I just craft a sign and then I use the sign block to make the large sign, I think. Missing one block, but it doesn't tell me. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, I need a torch, okay. So again, very frustrating. But no problem. Okay, so the one little hint, I guess, is to look for these little arrow things, because that's where you're missing a block, I guess. Okay, so by getting the torch, I can now build the roof, because that makes all the sense. For some reason I can't light this. Well, whatever, we'll figure that out later. There's still that little thing, the little arrow, or you know, the little hammer thing. Let me see what it's trying to make me build here. I have no idea what it wants me to build now. No idea. This doesn't even look realistic in here at all. Oh. Just wants this little guy. Okay. Is that it? Am I done? Still can't seem to light the wall torch, which I think is a sign that maybe I'm not done. I don't see a little icon anymore. Those windows are bugged. They still work. They just start out off positioned. Oh, hold on, I saw something. The floor, okay. So I got that all fixed up. I mean, I think it's done, or at least it's pretty damn close. The fact that I can open the door is a good sign. I don't know why I can't light the wall torch. But anyway, that's how blueprints work. Okay, so we have a little outhouse now, which is awesome. And what you can do is if you run into issues here, just go ahead and go over here. Oh, okay, so it did register that as complete. If it hadn't, then there would be some options that I could work with and you can only have one active blueprint at a time. So keep that in mind, that if you are in the middle of one, you can't just start another one. But it's pretty cool, and it's definitely going to save me some time and effort. So, and I'll probably continue to work with some of these models online and see what I can integrate as we go. You know, in particular, I think what's going to be useful for me is, you know, little buildings I can place up against the side of my castle walls. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up here on this particular episode. I know that it hasn't been that long, but I'd like to bifurcate this particular episode from the wall building, starting the wall building episode, which will be the next episode. And so I'll either tape that later tonight or tomorrow morning. Definitely need to work on this field. I definitely need to get this land even. And that's going to require landscape stakes, and that's going to be a whole thing. Ugh. Painful. If I can get it even just a little bit more even, I think that's going to make this thing work so much better. It's like at an angle right now. It's just, ugh, it's ugly. Right now I've just got this one thing hooked up to this mill. What I'd like to do on the mill, I mean, ideally I would set it up with a complicated switch system so I could put some other tool sets in here that I could just use a switch to make happen. But I'm going to have to think that through a little bit. And we might just have to make a couple mills. I think I would like to keep this one right where it is, though, which might imply that I might want to use this grid as the one that I base my walls on, because then it doesn't have to be moved. Moving mills and mechanical blocks in general is a bitch, because you lose the linseed oil that went into it. But I'm very pleased with this start. And I think I'm going to have a really fun and beautiful little castle here eventually. And with building... What I think I'd like to do, you know, have walls back here and around here, right over to here. Make this little gatehouse going down to the... I need to fill in this little divot. This little gatehouse right here that leads down to a little harbor that I'm going to build out quite a bit more than it currently is. By the way, I'm starting to work on a boat here, as you can see. Build this harbor out quite a bit, and then you know, a little gatehouse here. Then I'll go this way. Walls all the way around here, up along here, back through here, back through this mill, attached more or less to the wall. Wall that comes right around here, and I honestly am feeling like this little chunk sticking out on this side of the island might be the best place to put the keep, but we'll see. Walls along here, and finish out the wall right about here, because this is the edge of my claim here. As you can see at the top, if I move over to the right, it becomes terra incognita. So that's the boundary there. So this will be the edge of the wall. And I would probably just bring it out like this a little bit. Where's, yeah, this is all mine, okay. Yeah, this is still in mine. So I'm not sure exactly what angle I'm going to go with it. Maybe I'll straighten it out and come down more like this. Who knows? But that's going to be the basic shape of my castle. So if you kind of have been, if you kind of conceive of that, basically it's you know, more or less an oval that uses this, I would say this extreme east side of the island as its main, you know, shaping device. And if I do that, and maybe if I do what I said and build the keep over on this little notch or nub or whatever you want to call it, which actually that windmill may have to get moved after all if I do that. But maybe I should actually build the keep right over on this, in this area, even though it's a little bit lower to the ground. I think if I built it up, it would still be pretty cool. But in any event, you know, I think that that would leave open plenty of land in the middle here for a courtyard and for castle buildings and that sort of thing. Maybe I'll have two wards. Maybe I'll have a sort of inner ward with a keep kind of thing, and then a secondary ward out here along this edge of the forest. But we'll see. That's kind of my plan. But I'm going to go ahead and end it now. Thank you so much for watching, for your support, and we'll see you next time on Medieval Engineers.